Let's start streaming it up today, October 18th, 2020, coming at you. So let's wait for the software and everything to connect, people to join, everything going forward. We're going to talk about The Walking Dead, Walking Dead World Beyond, Fear the Walking Dead, The Walking Dead Universe. I guess even a little comic stuff, news. We love talking about The Walking Dead, so we'll just wait for people to join here. It's a little delayed. You can see stuff here there too. So what's going on, everybody? Hopefully you're safe and sound and secure and everything's going okay for you. You know, I have to keep saying that because the world is a crazy place right now. It still is. I don't know when it's going to get better. Hopefully it does sooner rather than later. So I want everybody here to be safe and, you know, be okay, because stuff is still not okay for a lot of people. But all right, guys, we got to put out that spoiler warning for the Walking Dead universe. So Walking Dead shows, Walking Dead, World Beyond, Fear the Walking Dead, comics, spinoffs, everything related to the Walking Dead universe, spoiler warning. And I know I got to say it every video because I have to. And it's hilarious how people still get mad about spoilers. And, you know, it seems like now, I don't even know how long it's been, 2 weeks, a couple weeks on there, that we've had The Walking Dead season 10 episode 16, and it's crazy that I've seen people in groups, in, you know, Facebook groups and stuff there, that people still don't know about The Walking Dead coming back for one episode, and they're like, when is The Walking Dead season 11? Why isn't Walking Dead on TV? And why is The Walking Dead season 10 not on Netflix? And why are so many things not happening for them to watch more Walking Dead? And some people, I guess, just still don't understand that season 10 episode 16 was the last episode of season 10, and they're filming season 10C for the 6 extra episodes for season 10. So that won't be out till later, well, next year, season 10, I guess 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, you know, 26 episodes. So that'll come out late February at the earliest, probably, you know, early March is my best guess. So thank you, Alexander, Mark, Joey, Steven, Isaias, Medic, Bullet, Jocks, Guitars, Rock, or Vox, Guitars, Rock, Negan 1, Jonathan, and Paul, and a bunch of other people. Thank you guys for that. Jonathan asks, do you think Heath is just going to be gone forever? Maybe. Heath is a character that is, you know, came and went. We met him in season 5 and season 6, and then he was gone in season 7. And, you know, it really wasn't a character that really was anything, and he was there. I mean, it might have been season 6 that we first met him. But ultimately, Heath was a character that was more involved in the comic. And again, the comic is the comic, and the show is the show. That's always one of those things that happens that we have to remember. The comic is not going to be replicated on the show, and it has not and will not be to a T. There's just not ways to do that. A comic is far easier to produce than a TV show, movies, anything related on film. You can draw something on a piece of paper, and it's far easier to do than actually produce in film. And it's interesting because some people want it to be replicated, comic stuff, right to TV or the big screen or the small screen, and it's just not possible. So I don't know if Heath's ever going to come back. If he is, most likely it's going to be in the movies, because it makes sense that he's going to be seen with Rick, Jadis, if maybe, or Anne, I guess. Well, I wonder if she's going to have a new name for the movies too. So we knew her as Jadis, then it was Anne. Is she going to be somebody else? Is she going to be another name for CRM? We don't know. But ultimately, Heath could be there. We found out from Angela Kang, not on screen, not on film, not anywhere besides conversations and text. Angela Kang said that Jadis traded Heath way back when in, I guess, season 7. And we haven't seen him since, too. So, Medic Bullet, what were your thoughts on Fear the Walking Dead season 6 premiere? Definitely going to talk about that. So before we get into it, I'll be talking the last half hour of The Walking Dead World Beyond Season 1, Episode 3, some spoilers, some recap, some review, some stuff there. Also, Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 2, last half hour, we'll talk about that. But since you guys are here, let's talk about Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 1, the premiere. The big episode that everybody, I guess not everybody, but a lot of people enjoyed it. They thought it was great. They thought it was Walking Dead caliber. It was interesting. It was exciting. It was over the top. It was dramatic. It was, you know, exciting, action-packed. It was all these great things. But it was also far-fetched. It was also so many things over the top. It is fiction, but when you do kind of feel like the Walking Dead universe if it's such a thing, is a fictional way it can be like real, even though it's fiction. You want to have certain things like people aren't flying around and they don't have the ability to do certain magic potions and powers and stuff is this and that, and there's not vampires and all this crazy stuff. It's like if a zombie apocalypse happened in your neck of the woods or a big city or a big area, what would you do? You would get bit, you would turn into a walker, a zombie, an empty, whatever, right? All the different names. Then you would have the ability to stay safe, find your family, find your friends, possibly who are you fighting for? Are people the enemy? Are the enemies? Are the more dangerous thing food, supplies, people, zombies? Like what's actually the same, right? So I love the Walking Dead universe. I'm not the biggest fan of Fear the Walking Dead, but I do love the Walking Dead universe. So if I'm a super fan of the Walking Dead and I enjoy Fear the Walking Dead and I know what it is, it's the thing that I'm like, what's up, Chris? So I was like, okay, Fear the Walking Dead every season has a good trailer. You're like, all right, this is going to be this season. They're going to get it together. We're going to see this. We're going to see that. They're going to do this. We're going to do that. Person's going to do this. People think Madison's coming back. Just so much stuff, right? And, I did my review. I saw the Fear the Walking Dead season 6, episode 2. I did my review. Have it posted later today. Walking Dead World Beyond, season 1, episode 2. Negan 1. That's probably true. I don't know if everybody wants to hear, but I think that's pretty true. That's pretty funny. See, if you have a question, just post in there. Hopefully I'll get to you. Let me know on there as well, too. So Mark asks, where is the aviation fuel coming from? Well, I don't know that answer, Mark. I guess CRM is pretty interesting on there as well, too. So if you have a question, post some questions there. If it's inappropriate, you'll be gone. If it's appropriate, we'll answer it for sure, too. So Isaiah, my guy, says, Bri, do you think Rick is where Dr. Leo Bennett is? I personally do. I think that's a good way of connecting things. I think that Fear the Walking Dead has a connection with CRM, as we knew from season 5. The Walking Dead clearly has a connection with CRM, Jadis, the heapsters, junksters, trashters, the people, the junkyard people. Then you have obviously they took Rick away. They're going to be there. Most likely he's going to be somewhere on the East Coast. Dr. Leo Bennett, we found out in The Walking Dead World Beyond season 1, episode 1, that he is in New York if Elizabeth Kublik is true, which I kind of think she is. I think she actually wants to help Iris and Hope. I think she's there to help the kids. She sees the kids as, basically like her daughter. They're brave, they're smart, they're intelligent, they have benefit to this world, they can do big things. You'll find out some things later on if you haven't seen The World Beyond season 1, episode 3. You'll find out a little bit more about CRM. You'll find out a little bit more about what the kids are up to and stuff there too. But again, we'll talk about that the last half hour. I personally really enjoy The World Beyond, the first 3 episodes. I know what the show is for me. It's an extension of The Walking Dead. I think that it's interesting. It's exciting. The possibility of finding out more about the helicopter people, the Civic Republic, CRM, where Rick went, how it could be all connected, bing, bada, boom, it draws me in. I like the kids. I personally like to see where they're at, even though I think majority of them are in their early 20s and they're playing 16, 17-year-old. That's not new. They've been doing that forever on TV shows. There's people that have been 20s, if not later than that played teenagers because they look that way too. So, yeah, Fear the Walking Dead season 6, episode 2 is out already. If you have connections and or you have AMC Plus, I guess it's Plus now. Before it was AMC Premiere, now it's AMC Plus. Everything's Plus. Disney Plus, AMC Plus, Hulu Plus, this Plus, that Plus, YouTube Plus. No, I don't know. But ultimately, Plus is the new thing for it. But you can watch season 6, episode 2 of Fear the Walking Dead. But I'll break it down for you if you want to find out a little bit later. Stay for the whole stream or come back in the last half hour. No spoilers till then, guys. But The Walking Dead World Beyond is interesting. It's I don't know why they made it personally besides connecting the CRM connection. If that wasn't there, the show wouldn't really be that great for a lot of people. I know some people watch it just for that. I grew up in the 80s where there was all these shows and movies. There was their Goonies. There was Stand By Me. There was all these different things where people came together, the Monster Squad and all this stuff where people and teenagers would come together and have it be, they have to prove themselves and they have to go on this voyage and this journey and this, way of building themselves up and having things happen before, just being a teenager and just being outside of their comfort zone and exploring and having experiences in life, right? And that was the 80s. We did it as actual teenagers and kids and whatever in our 80s, 90s, and growing up that way, we kind of had that thing. And I think Matt Negretti definitely has a connection with the Stranger Things vibe. I think that we have an idea of what it's going to be like for, the Stand By Me, Goonies type of thing where kids come together and there's a journey for it. Are they making it for teenagers? I don't know if teenagers are watching it, but I know I'm watching it and I'm in my 30s. A lot of people that are connected with the Walking Dead universe, they watch it. They're in their teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. My dad's 70 years old and he watches it because of the Walking Dead universe. So it's pretty cool. Thank you, Abe Froman. Hello there, sir, to you, Abe Froman, for the super chat. Thank you very much too. So Efren asks, hey Brian, have you heard any news on the upcoming episodes? What do you mean, Efren? For what? For The Walking Dead? Well, The Walking Dead just started filming. They just started back Monday. We saw pictures of Norman Reedus on set. We saw a thing. He was in his chair and he took a picture of his shoes and the laces around his, his way and his belt and stuff. So we took a picture of his legs basically in his chair. So I know that they're filming. They came back to filming. The word is that we're probably going to see Daryl, Carol, Maggie, Ezekiel, Eugene, the Commonwealth, some aspects of that, Negan, Princess, most likely there. I haven't heard anything specifically because they just started filming on Monday. Today's Sunday of the same week they started filming. A lot of times they film on set at the studio, so not around town, even though I've had some people tell me some inside stuff that they have some do not mow signs around town. They have some different things where they're going to be filming around different parts of Georgia. If it's in Sonoy, right outside of Sonoy, I'm not sure exactly. Noonan, different spots. If you know the previous filming locations, they could be filming outside of there too. Stuff may be blocked off way more than it usually is because they don't want people coming close. But if you're outside and, there's definitely less restrictions with stuff outside versus inside. And, we don't want to hopefully mess anything up and hopefully people won't cause a problem. But I don't know too much besides, the recent stuff came out besides they just started filming and some people are still in town too. So, Jonathan asks, so one of the Walking Dead actors said it's possible to end the show on a 40-year time jump. Would you agree? I think that was Lauren Cohan. And Lauren Cohan's saying a lot of things that I'm not buying into. She's like, I want to see Tales of the Walking Dead. I want to see Father Gabriel. Like, who wants to see a Father Gabriel show? We know basically all about the character. I don't need to see the Tales of the Walking Dead. I want to see a Tales of the Walking Dead of Abraham Ford, Texas, Eugene, Rosita, Abe meeting Daniel. I want to see stuff coming together that way. Maybe, I don't need to see some more backstory of characters like that. I don't need to see a 40-year time jump of old Maggie and older Herschel. Like, I don't need to see that unless it's good for the story. But Lauren Cohan's saying a lot of things. She's been away for the show for a little bit, so she's doing a lot of things. I don't know. But I don't need to see a 40-year-old time jump. Like, okay, so Daryl is like 40 years old. So what's going to be 80 years old? Are you going to see old man Daryl, old lady Carol, old man Rick? I personally don't need to see any of that stuff too. So, Guy Fax asks, when will Michonne return? That's still up in the air. There's a lot of talk. I'm not sure, Michonne, she's not coming back to the TV show. Maybe she'll come back and Rick will come back in the very last episodes. But if she's going to be on another show, a spinoff of her own thing, if it's going to be a couple episodes, if it's going to be the movies, if it's going to be how it's going to connect, we will see Michonne again. Gimple says a lot of things, and he said that we'll see her again. Yeah, we'll see her again. And they got a lot of stuff in the, we're talking about things. And also they talked about Tales of the Walking Dead, that Madison could be in an episode of that. And I really hope they do and they show it that she's gone so then everybody can get over it and actually be up to it. But I don't know if that's actually going to go with it. They talked about having a Lori Grimes episode. I personally wouldn't want to watch that, but I probably would watch it anyway. I would love to see a T-Dog episode, a Glenn episode. Here's Negan, certain things there. The governor, I would love to see certain things from it. But I asked before and I ask again, that'll be one of my poll questions. Who would you want to see in Tales of the Walking Dead? What would you want to see? Who would be some of your picks? Just give me a couple of, you don't have to give me all of them, but just give me a couple ideas. Who would you want to see in that? Do you have any update on who the masked fighter is from The Walking Dead Season 10? No idea, because they haven't told us, they haven't showed us, they haven't cast anybody, they haven't done anything with that. So I know there's a couple channels that say crazy stuff in their videos, and people share with me too. They show me a thumbnail or something, and you're like, there's no information that I have, and unless that person has great inside sources, I just don't believe it, because they're there to say, this person is this person's getting a spinoff, this person's getting another show. It's just not true. And the person's getting a bunch of views, and a bunch of people going there. I just don't know why you would post a video and it not be legit good information. You're getting views, but you're coming across as, someone that you can't trust information for too. So I don't know. I don't want to do that. If I have that, it's a theory, it's a discussion video, and it's clearly said there. I'm not trying to prove anything and show anything there and get one over on people, but that's what other people do on YouTube too. So Chris says, on the show, who do you think is her daughter, and is that girl with is it that girl with Felix? So Elizabeth Kublik, I guess you mean, Chris, is who you're asking about who is her daughter. I personally believe it's Isabel, because Huck, Elizabeth Kublik came to the campus colony. She met Felix, and people call me Huck, right? So if Huck was her daughter, wouldn't they hug? Wouldn't they be there? Huck does not work for CRM. Elizabeth Kublik's daughter is a soldier for CRM. The only person that is a soldier for CRM that we've met, besides Elizabeth Kublik, besides a character that you'll meet in season 1, episode 3, his name is Barca. He's one of the soldiers. You'll get to meet him a little bit more in the episode, but that's a guy. And Isabel. They're the only 3 people we've actually had names for with CRM. Now, Jadis Ann, whatever you call her name is, she's not a soldier for CRM. She could have been. She might have been. Maybe she was. So we'll throw Jadis in there too. So I'm going to go with it's between Jadis and Isabel. But if they're trying to connect Fear the Walking Dead in there too, Bark is in a couple episodes. I mean, I know he's in the first episode and the third episode. I don't know if he's in the second episode, but either way, he's a character for CRM, and it's not that big a deal. But I think it's Isabel. It just makes more sense. It just doesn't fit like Huck introduced like they never met. Like that if your daughter is right there, you're not like, hey, I'm going to introduce myself as someone that you don't. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. But I like that. Proctor John, that's a good one. Sadiq, okay, Alexander, that's all right. Some people got some good stuff, and hopefully, I just hope Tales of the Walking Dead are good. I hope it's interesting. I thought it'd be pretty cool, and I think it's a good way to do things, and I think they're just trying to make Walking Dead, stories and tales and shows and things on a cheaper budget. I think that's what they're trying to do too, because an episode of The Walking Dead probably costs a lot of money, and AMC actually, I think is the word, allegedly shut down The Walking Dead. So they were the ones that did it, and when the company, the money, the production company, the business of things, the industry, they are who controls things. If they don't want to spend more money on The Walking Dead, they're not going to make any more episodes that way. But I think there's still a demand for The Walking Dead, and I know a lot of people they like The Walking Dead. They still want the episodes. It's probably not as popular as it was in prior seasons, but coming up on the 11th season of a show is a lot. I don't know a lot of shows who get more than 5-6 seasons personally. Maybe you have spin-offs and other things and they branch out that way, but that's a whole different show, a new thing. It's a new fresh start on there too. Some of the best shows ever were 5, 6 seasons, or they were better on 4, 5, 6 seasons, and they kind of trailed off in season 7 or season 8. Certain seasons of shows were like, it's kind of run its course too. So, but Abe says Jadis or Anne is her daughter. It could be. I mean, we just don't know. But to me, Isabel was a soldier. She has a connection with the universe of that. She was a soldier. She's a helicopter pilot, or maybe she knows how to fly them. She's there. We know that she is clearly a soldier for the CRM. And I think it's pretty interesting last episode when you put 2 and 2 together with Althea, the Bog tape, the Blaze of Gory. You find a lot of stuff there. Isabel has the tape. Is Isabel going to come back around in Fear the Walking Dead season 6? I hope so, right? I hope she comes back around too. So, yeah, I don't know. But a lot of people are saying some good stuff in the chat. But I want to say thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, guys. Really helps the channel out. Just sharing your support, supporting the channel any way that you can is, pretty interesting too. So thank you guys for being here. I'll go for a couple more minutes and then we'll get into the talk of season 1, episode 3 of The Walking Dead World Beyond, and Fear the Walking Dead season 6, episode 2. But Morgan is Morgan. Morgan has the plot armor. Morgan is the man. Morgan is an interesting character. He's not going anywhere. He's probably going to be, the big connecting force of how the shows connect with Fear the Walking Dead, World Beyond, and The Walking Dead, and maybe the movies. But, ultimately, I kind of want all the shows to come together in a big way, and maybe that's why they're building it up. I would think it'd be pretty interesting. So we'll have to see. There's a lot of theories, a lot of speculation, a lot of talk, a lot of people saying a lot of crazy, outlandish things, and maybe they get the headlines, and maybe they come true, and maybe they don't. But it's a good way to sell things when you're like, Rick's coming back, and Morgan's going to do this, and this character is going to spin off, and this character is going to be that, and confirmed, solved, legit stuff, proof. I have this. But, I'm a person that likes to talk about information that I know, that I actually get, that I actually trust, that I actually, look after and examine and do my research on it. It's one of those things too. So Morgan is an interesting character. I've said it before, and I don't think I ever made the video, but I brought it up. Morgan, to me, is one of the most important characters in the Walking Dead universe there is. Of course, it's Rick. Of course, Daryl. And then you got to say Morgan, right? So you say Rick because he's the face of The Walking Dead and the comics and everything there too. But Morgan's right up there with them. Morgan is just as important to the Walking Dead universe, if not some aspects more than Rick is. He's connected a show. He's went to spinoff on Fear the Walking Dead. He saved Rick. He's been important storylines for all the different things. And yeah, to me, as a medical professional, when I'm watching Morgan basically dying, it's not. It just doesn't make sense to me. Where he has a bullet in his chest. He could barely stand up. He can barely walk. The walkers are around him. He falls over. And then he just has a surge of adrenaline or something. He kills a bunch of walkers. He fights, a meal, takes him out, and then takes over things, right? And you're like, man, it's awesome. Trust me, I love Morgan. It's action-packed and it's exciting. But he was basically struggling to walk, let alone stop a heavy axe being swung down on him, and he basically stops it with one arm. You're like, man, that's crazy, right? Too. So thank you, Lindsay. I'm glad you could be here. Thank you for being an awesome moderator as well. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. I want to say shout outs to my subscribers, my patrons, my members, people just checking out the channel for the first time. It's pretty awesome to have an awesome community here, whether, I guess you're here to just talk about things and see information, get information, be a part of it as much or as little as you want to be. It's always good to be a part of that too. And, The Walking Dead is a community of fans about the comic, the shows, the spinoffs, YouTubers, Instagram people, it's still a community. It's still a big feel too. And if you know the channel, you know what we do here. You know that I used to go to conventions and get panels and post them and on there too. So Walker Stalker was the big convention that I used to go to. They used to have a lot of panels, a lot of information, a lot of celebrities from The Walking Dead on there too. Recently, the Walker Stalker had financial problems and the owners sold it and there was this and they started something else and it's a whole big thing. But I believe the Walker Stalker name and villains and heroes and the basic idea of the Walker Stalker conventions, the Walking Dead stuff, was bought by a company, I think it's called like 3 Fam Productions or something like that. And they're connected with Soprano conventions and previous things that way. So I'm not knowing information right now, but if Walker Stalker comes back around, it would be new ownership, new way of doing things and new stuff. And hopefully they get their act together. They get the stuff done. They pay the celebrities. Stuff is done in the right way. You can hopefully get refunds from previous stuff, but it just looks like a different people, different group, different company, multiple people and things bought Walker Stalker. So that could be coming around next year or in the near future. Be pretty cool stuff. Definitely check it out. I'll let you know if I hear any more information about that. I definitely liked the Walker Stalker stuff because I got to meet celebrities, fans, awesome people, have awesome experiences, stuff that'll live forever. Like I see the camera right here, but beyond the camera, I have an awesome picture with Norman Reedus, my wife, and Michael Rucker, and then myself in it. So we met the Dixon brothers, and it's an awesome thing that I get to see every day, right here in this room that I get to see every day when I'm working on the computer. It's like, that's an awesome experience, and I hope people get to have that from now on. Also, I want to say something before I get into this, a couple things. There's a movie that just came out on, I guess it's like pay movies. It's like Amazon Prime movies that you can pay for, I think. And there's a movie called Love and Monsters, and Michael Rucker is in it. Believe the girl that was young Kimura in Xfinity War, and the guy from I can never remember his name, but from The Maze Runner and Teen Wolf and all that stuff, the main guy there. That's pretty cool. And that's a movie called Love and Monsters. And I can't wait to watch that. I'm definitely going to check it out. And it looks pretty cool. People have said it's the best zombie movie since Zombieland. So that's high billing. Zombieland 2. And, it's a comedy. It's a thing. So I believe I'll definitely check it out. Going to watch it and review it for you guys and then let you know if it's on there too. So pretty interesting stuff. But overall, I'm enjoying The World Beyond. I like the characters on there. I even like Huck, It's one of those characters that her acting or the voice or the dialogue or the material is just lacking compared to other characters, in my opinion. I still like her. She's not like, oh, I hate that character. I think that it's a show that I can kind of buy into. If there wasn't the CRM connection, I got to be honest. Thank you, Dylan O'Brien. Thank you. I can never remember his name. Lindsay said she saw it yesterday and it was good. So thank you. I definitely want to check it out myself and I'll be talking about it. And I love watching stuff there and sharing it with you because bring back Teen Wolf or bring Teen Wolf back. Because I want to be like real when a movie's good or it's not good. Like check it out, watch it, don't watch it, don't waste your time. Definitely check it out, watch it. Because I'm the person that is going to be real with it. I have a friend that'll tell you every movie is good. And I have another friend or two that are legit and tell me the real deal about it. So I really go to the person if they like it or they don't like it. But, one friend will tell me, I like it because of this, this, and this, and this. And he won't say anything negative about it. But not every movie is good. Not everything is actually worth seeing. That's for sure. So M. King saw it too. He says it's really good. So that's what I'm hearing. It's really good. Hellstrom is pretty good. Some people like that. Is it a theory or confirmed? Are these spoilers for episode 3? Alexander's asking some questions there too. But, just want to say, guys, careful with the spoilers. Abe, my guy, don't post spoilers in the comments in this video, the chat, and also other videos. Like, just don't be the guy or the girl or the person, I should say, that posts like, oh, this is going to happen, that happens, in the episode this happens, because if you have AMC Plus and you watch The World Beyond on Thursday and you post it Thursday afternoon that CRM has this many people and they post this and this happens and that happens and this there it happens, and it spoils it. Now, you put like spoiler warning in it, but not everybody, there's people that watch the episodes on Sundays. Now, they should be careful what they're reading and where they're going for stuff, but don't post a spoiler something in the chat or in the comments, because people read it. And, if it keeps happening, I'm going to have to block you, and I'm going to have to do that because it's kind of ruining it for other people. Like posting it there, and some people shouldn't read stuff on there, so I'll use my best judgment. But just be careful with what you're posting, and don't be that guy or girl or person just to ruin it for people. That's just not cool. But some people are trying to get, Fire Sticks, but that's the way to go. I think an Amazon Fire Stick is the way to go too, guys. So, all right, guys, let's talk about some spoilers for Fear the Walking Dead, World Beyond. Oh, so I want to say that I forgot to talk about the comics. The Walking Dead comics in color, I believe the first issue is out. It's called The Walking Dead Deluxe. I know the first issue is out. It's in color now for the first time. I think maybe the first issue might have been put in color way back when, but they're going to be doing more and more issues in color. And it's called The Walking Dead Deluxe too. So let's go, guys. So the last half hour, we'll talk about some spoilers. So spoiler warning. If you're worried about spoilers, I would stop watching now. If you're watching on the replay, spoiler warning. So let's talk about Fear the Walking Dead first, right? So Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 2, you will see Strand and Alicia. They are the two main characters in this episode. You see Daniel, you see Charlie, you meet Dakota, who is the sister of Virginia, the younger sister. And at the very, very end, you get to see Morgan again. So you get to see basically it starts off with a group with some like Virginia's people, the Rangers and people there too, and they're tasked to kill these walkers in this place. And everything falls apart. It doesn't go well. A bunch of people die. The Ranger dies, and people that are there. It doesn't go well at all. And then you cut to a scene where Strand and Alicia are basically burning human feces, poop. And one of the Rangers comes over to Strand and Alicia, says, can you do this? Like, can you stop burning it? The wind's blowing this way. I want to enjoy my lunch today. And Strand and Alicia are like, are you serious? Are you kidding me? He's like, yeah. And they have a problem. I think his name is Mark or Marcus or something. He has a problem with Strand. And Strand's like, you wouldn't have that thing because he's in the SWAT truck. Marcus, the Ranger. You wouldn't have that thing if it wasn't for me. The Ranger gets out. There's a big problem. And turns out this girl says, leave him alone. Turns out to be Dakota, who's Virginia's sister. You find out later in the episode. And that the two Rangers, they bring Strand and Alicia in to talk to Virginia. Virginia is in a room with Daniel, and Daniel is cutting her hair. Daniel has a bump on his forehead, a mark on his forehead like he was hit or punched or, he was hit there. He has a bruise on his forehead. Strand and Alicia are talking to Daniel, and Daniel says that he doesn't know them, like he has amnesia. And the whole episode, you don't know if he has amnesia or not. Does he not remember Strand or Alicia? We're not really sure. He gives Strand a necklace of St. Christopher to look over him, protect him. And then Strand gives that to Alicia at the end. Virginia says to Strand and Alicia, you're not going to be here anymore. You're going to go somewhere else. She hands Alicia's weapon, the gun barrel. She pulls it out like a drawer. Like, it's really weird. It's like, where has that been the whole time? I guess it's next to the desk. But Daniel cuts Virginia's hair because he's a barber. He can do that. And then Virginia sends Strand and Alicia to this other area. It turns out the same area that at the beginning of the episode is, sugar company, sugar factory, where they deal with molasses and sugar and probably sugar cane and stuff there. And now Strand and Alicia are tasked to kill the walkers that are inside where the molasses is. And there's like a bunch of walkers in there, like a bunch of walkers. And before that, it's real sticky and slimy and gooey, and you don't know what's going on there. It turns out it's from the molasses, and they're covered in it, and it's just gross. So Strand and Alicia are looking around. Charlie is there. And also the girl with her brother that we met in season 5 that died, the man that died, it's her sister who was still around, and she's there. I don't remember her name. And they look around, and there's a couple Rangers there. One has like a sniper position at the top of this silo, and someone tries to leave and run. He gets shot, so you can't leave this place. Charlie even says she tries to leave a bunch of times, and she's brought to there. So it's basically like a jail. It's kind of the lowest form of what you can do for this group there. Strand and Alicia come together, and they're like, we need more weapons. The Rangers go out. They come back with a van. It has spears in it. Charlie grabs a spear, and they're looking around. Dakota was in the truck, or in the box truck. Reminded me a lot of Carl and Jesus in season 7 of The Walking Dead. And Dakota is someone that's trying to help them. She's trying to help Strand and Alicia. She knows who they are. She doesn't really say how she knows them, but I'm guessing she saw one of the videotapes. I personally believe, my theory is that Dakota, if it's not Sherry who saved Morgan, Dakota could have been involved with that if she saved Morgan, but I'll make a separate video on that. And a lot of this I talk about in my review that I'll post later today. But the episode is good. It's entertaining. It's exciting. But it's super far-fetched. It's super I laughed so many times that is so dumb. What are you doing here? Like the walkers, it's just idiotic what some of the people do at this area to kill the walkers that are all in there. It just doesn't make sense. And I guess that's the point. The people there didn't know what they're doing. Strand and Alicia are like, we can take over this place. We can get a weapon. We can do this. We can take over this spot, get everybody together, and turn it against Virginia. Dakota says inside where the molasses is, there's a weapon that you can use against, Virginia, and that's what you should do. So then Strand and Alicia are like, okay, we got to get inside there. We got to take all these walkers out. We got to do it. So they set up this, walkway, kind of like like where you would have a cows go or whatever. It's grates, it's metal. It's kind of wonky. It falls apart, of course, all the drama and stuff in it. The walkers come through it. Instead of killing the walkers as they come out from a safe area, they kind of form this area where walkers are coming in them and coming towards them. And instead of closing the gate and keeping them contained there and then killing them one by one, they just try to kill them and people take them out and kill them and take them out. And it's just too much at times, right? Charlie actually gets her hair, pulled by one of the walkers. And you're like, how is she not bit or scratched or something? She's safe. She's fine. She's okay. She goes there. Strand and everybody, they take the walkers out. Dakota is caught. She actually saves Charlie. She kills one of the walkers that was about to get Charlie. And 2 of the Rangers come and they're like, Dakota, get her out of here. What are you doing? And these Rangers there are so idiotic. They're terrible. Part of the wall breaks where they're hurting the walkers. They're moving the walkers. And the walkers are there and they break through it. The walkers get up, fall off the ledge, get up again, and then the Rangers finally take a shot. And it's like, what are you waiting for? You have machine guns, you have rifles, you should mow these walkers down. But they don't. They end up dying and getting bit, and you're like, these people are so dumb. You're like, what is going on here? It was just frustrating to watch. Strand, they go in there, they get inside the molasses factory area, wherever they were. And there's so many walkers, by the way, before that. So I don't know if it was a place where people were held up and Virginia took it over and killed these people and did that, or if they were just walkers that were kept in there. I don't know. It's not really explained. But either way, 1,000 walkers come out. It's so many. It's ridiculous. Strand and Alicia go inside the warehouse where their molasses is. There's no weapon. There's no nothing. Virginia comes to get her sister. She's pissed that her sister was there. Strand and Alicia go talk to Virginia. And Strand says, look, if there's any problem with this, it's on me. I was the one responsible for it. So he steps up. He's like, I'm willing to do this. Oh, and before that, there's a guy named Sanjay who is useless. He's a wuss. He's scared. He's a coward. Strand actually ends up stabbing him and killing him and having the walkers that are going towards Alicia and the group go after him. So Strand kills this guy. And you're like, okay, I didn't kind of feel bad for Sanjay because he's kind of a wimp and he's kind of whatever. And you're like, I didn't really feel bad for him personally. But I love the idea of Strand and Alicia and everybody working together, but it's just done in a way that's like, what the heck, too. So I like overall, it's interesting. It explores things a little bit more in this area too. So ZD Ghost, I'll talk about that. I don't. Everybody thinks there's a spy every time. Since we had Dwight, there was a spy, and Dante was a spy. And next, we're gonna have a spy there. I'll talk about Barca and Walking Dead World Beyond in a couple minutes, but I don't think he's a spy. I just think he's a disgruntled employee. He doesn't like the way they're doing things there at CRM, and we'll see where that goes. But either way, Strand gets a promotion because Virginia's like, you passed the test. You're a leader. You got this done. You got it pretty good. And Strand gets promoted. Strand gets so many things in this world. It's crazy, right? He got a boat or a yacht. He got a promotion here. He had a compound to go to that Daniel burned down. He had, power. He keeps getting handed all these things all the time, right? So either way, Virginia gives him the little key thing. He puts it on his shirt. Now he has power, and he's telling people what to do, and he's doing this. Daniel and Charlie. Daniel is cutting Charlie's hair. Charlie's like, you really don't remember Daniel? And Daniel's like, are you a friend of Ophelia? So you don't know if Daniel has amnesia, knows who these people are, if he's lying or not on there, right? So I like the idea when you don't know if Daniel's legit or not. Turns out that he's faking it, that he knows who these people are. But either way, he cuts Charlie's hair, cuts out the molasses that was being pulled, gives her a little haircut. Strand comes in with a box of stuff. Charlie grabs a little banjo, is playing a song, and Daniel taught her that, and Daniel plays it off as he doesn't know her. He doesn't know. He doesn't remember. Charlie gets in a truck. Strand and Alicia. Alicia is supposed to go in the truck with Charlie and be taken away somewhere. Strand has power. He's like, look, I can't be around you, Alicia, because I lost who I was. I lost who I'm supposed to be. I lost what was kind of keeping me alive, and I just can't be around Alicia anymore. So he splits up Alicia and Strand is kind of running things at this area, this compound, this community. I don't know if it's Lawton or where it is or where actually he's at. I'm not sure. But either way, he has power, and Alicia goes away in the truck. Strand goes and talks to Daniel, who is about to ride a makeshift wagon with a donkey, a burro. You're like, what is going on here? It's also in the middle of the night. It's the most wackest transportation I've ever seen in my life. It's also at night. It's not the safest. They have to travel a pretty far distance to get to Paradise Ridge, is what the person says, the ranger that he's with. Daniel, they get through the thing, through the gate. He says, I forgot my key, or I forgot my scissors, my good pair of scissors. He's like, well, you got to use something else. Well, he's like, these scissors aren't good. So the Rangers goes back inside the gate and goes to try and find his scissors. Meanwhile, Daniel stops. They're outside of the gate. He's sitting on the wagon connected to the donkey, and he hears something out there. And he whistles, and the person whistles back. And you're like, all right, what's going on here? He gets off of the wagon. He has the small little knife. A walker comes out. Daniel's, looking at the walker. Someone comes out, kills the walker. Daniel looks at him. He doesn't know who it is. Turns out to be Morgan. Morgan lifts his hat, and he says, Daniel, you know me. And then, Daniel kind of goes from his defensive, unsure posture to a standing posture, and he says, you look like you need a haircut. And Morgan laughs, and Daniel says, I thought you were the one she was trying to go after, or she was talking about going after, Virginia. So Daniel has an act. He has amnesia, but he doesn't. He's acting to get close to Virginia to get information. He was cutting her hair, he was getting around, and he was doing things that he could actually be useful. He shakes Morgan's hand, and that's how it ends. So Morgan doesn't know, or Strand and Alicia and Charlie and everybody connected with Virginia, they think Daniel has amnesia, but he doesn't. He's playing them. He's getting information. He's smart. He's staying alive, and that's why I love Daniel. It's one of my favorite characters. Morgan's seen at the very end, and that's it. Then you see a trailer for next week's episode. You'll see Althea, Dwight, Morgan, Rachel, baby Morgan, a couple other people with Althea and Dwight, and I can't remember the rest of it. But Althea's on the radio, and I don't know if she's talking to Isabel or not, or what's going on, but there's a female voice. So just those are the thing. So, but yeah, Daniel's very smart. Lil Chi 721. That's why I kind of love Daniel. Daniel's one of my favorite characters too. So overall, it's an interesting episode. It's good. It's kind of over the top. You'll see when all the walkers come out and what's there too. And when you watch the opening, you're like, man, these people are stupid. But I guess they're supposed to be. They're imbeciles. Everything falls apart and stuff happens. So, but I guess it was designed for that too. But overall, it was a good episode. All right, guys. Now let's talk about The World Beyond. So The World Beyond, Season 1, Episode 3, I think is titled The Tiger and the Lamb. And you actually see a tiger and a lamb in the poem. And to me, it's a nice Easter egg callback to Shiva. It's a picture, it's a drawing that Iris did. But you get a little more backstory of Silas. Silas is the big, quiet type that did something in Omaha. And it's a hard thing. No, I do not think Travis is alive, man. Everybody thinks everybody's alive on this show. They think Madison's alive, Troy's alive, Travis is alive. You're like, man, it's terrible. It's really pathetic, terrible writing if so many people are thinking that characters are dead or characters are alive that clearly died on the show. That's terrible if the audience doesn't know that, in my opinion, obviously. But like so many people think that he's there too. So it's just crazy that so many people think that stuff too. So I'm not trying to, harp on Alpha Ahid, but people think that there too. So Silas turns out that he, I guess, killed somebody. You don't really see it. You see him punching somebody and you see he's got blood on his hands and he's shaking and he gets arrested. He gets handcuffed and he's got headphones on and he's like trying to be like, I guess he doesn't have headphones on there. His escape is headphones because he tries to stay a lot of the night too. So Alpha, I know, man, we didn't see him die. You didn't see Madison die. You didn't see Troy die. You didn't see this person die. But yeah, man, that's what happens on this show. It's left open for people but Travis was shot inside a helicopter in season 3 of Fear the Walking Dead, or season 2, season 3, and then fell out of the helicopter. Well, we didn't see his body, and we didn't see this. So, man, that's just terrible writing. But I like Travis, too, at that point. That's what they do there, too. But Silas is a character that is the lovable guy that he did something, and I'm not sure who he actually punched or killed, or if it's a family member or a kid or his dad or what. We just don't know. It's just not clear, right? Too. So just not sure what actually happened there, but he did something, and I want to say, I guess he beat somebody or choked somebody and ended up killing somebody, but we don't see it. But then you see, trying to think about the episode. So it basically starts I think it's 48 minutes long. The first 38 minutes are between flashbacks of Silas, Hope. Iris and Silas actually talked previously when Silas was cleaning the lab, Dr. Bennett's lab, and Iris actually dropped the poem, The Tiger and the Lamb, that Silas kept in his locker in the, I guess, steam room or janitorial room or whatever he was actually doing. The landscape, where the people that work around the campus were, right? So, yeah, Silas's hands were shaking. He ended up, doing something and hurting somebody really bad. We'll just go with that. And then it goes to present day where Hope decided to go to the tornado siren. And we knew that was going there because at the end of the last episode. She calls the people the kids on the radio. It's Elton, Silas, and Iris, who are sleeping on top of the roof of the building, which to me doesn't make sense because you have burning tires and flesh and debris and embers and everything flying that you're breathing in when you're sleeping. That would be tough breathing. You could suffocate. You could die. You could burn your lungs. It could be toxic that you're breathing in. So it's really not smart that that's happened, right? But either way, they were sleeping on top of the roof. They wake up and they're like, where are you? I'm doing the plan. We're doing this. I'm going to do the thing. Don't worry, I'm going to do this. No, the plan was this. And Elton actually coughs a little bit too, so you see that it's clearly bothering them. It's supposed to. But the plan was that Hope goes to the tornado siren. The kids go to a safe spot. They go to a building. I think it's like the office spot of it's called Retread, which I find very interesting. The sign, once you see it, it's RE, capital T, R, capital T, capital R, capital E, capital D. So it's like T-RED. So if you know this channel, you know why red is important. Some people believe it, some people don't, some people buy into it, and that's all right, but I'm not here to do that. I'm just giving you my ideas of where I'm at too. So Hope gets to the tornado siren. She gets the latch. She goes to turn it and breaks it. It breaks. It's rusty. It's crappy. It's old. It's not, it breaks. So she can't turn the siren. The kids, Elton, Silas, and Iris get to the office, the trailer, and they get to be in a spot where they're safe, but they're waiting for the siren to go off and Hope's thing. So she takes it apart and she's working on it. Meanwhile, they're talking over the radio. Elton and Silas and Iris are basically getting to know each other better inside this office. Elton is funny. I think Elton's one of the funnier characters. He has a couple funny things. Silas still can't kill walkers. He's like, I'll carry your bags. I'm not going to kill walkers. So when Elton and Silas, and when Iris and Elton go ahead, Silas stays back, lose them in the smoke. Can't know where they are. A walker or an empty comes out of nowhere. He almost gets bit, but he defends himself, throws the empty down, and then Iris and Elton go into the trailer, right? So it's like, okay, so we're good. And then we have a door that is stuck. Elton's like, hey, can you help me open this door? Big Silas comes over because he's the big strong guy. He pushes open the door and you're like, don't open it. It's closed for a reason. What are you doing, right? So they open the door, boom, they get it open. Silas reaches in. Someone grabs Silas's forearm. It's Felix. Felix and Huck meet them in there. They're talking. They find out that it was kind of Iris's plan. Who left the can? Hope. Why did you do that? Why didn't you do that? Everybody gets kind of caught up in everything, right? They kind of get up that it was Hope and Iris working together. They both wanted to do the trip, and it's pretty much on there too. So, and then Huck and Felix are like, look, Huck is kind of being mean to Silas. It's kind of like, yeah, well, don't do this and whatever. She doesn't really trust him, whatever, based on what was done before. And that's kind of why Silas is having headphones on all around the campus colony, because everybody, when they see him, they're like, he's a monster. He's a monster. He's terrible. He should be in jail for what he did. And probably should be, I guess. I don't know, but maybe he was defending himself. Maybe he flipped out. Maybe he was being picked on. And I don't know. It's not that clear what exactly was happening, but Silas is remorseful. He's not an evil person. And, Iris actually shows some feelings for him. And I don't know if they're hinting at it, because you kind of see things throughout the episode that Iris kind of likes Silas and Silas kind of likes Iris. So I wonder if they're going to get together. Iris and Cyrus and Iris. It's kind of a mouthful to say. But so Hope gets into this room, and that's before the sirens and she gets to, and there's two walkers, and she goes into this closet, and this walker comes in and it's like, and it like smashes through the wooden thing, and it's kind of hilarious. But she gets onto the roof, takes apart the siren, puts the pole in there, and actually turns it and gets the siren to work. They get on the radio. They say, look, I got the siren going, blah, blah, blah. They're going to do this. They're going to work together. They're going to get through it. So everybody gets out of the room while Hope is turning the siren. And it's just like a siren. I don't know why it would attract the walkers to a specific spot, because the noise would kind of go out. But either way, the walkers and the empties are coming towards where the sound is. The kids are getting through the walkers or the empties. Felix and Huck are taking them out, and they're just kind of doing their thing. It's kind of a dramatic thing that I don't really feel the kids were in danger at all. I just didn't have that feel. Hope is going down a ladder, outside, kind of the same kind of ladder that Rick and Glenn were going up in season 1, episode 2 with Walking Dead. It kind of has an outdoor ladder with the thing around it protecting them. She kind of drops down on the last step and rolls her ankle, so she's kind of limping a little bit. And you're like, how did you do that? But, kids will be kids, they'll hurt themselves doing that. So they're going through, she's getting through these walkers, or getting through these empties. She comes across these empties that get stuck in the mud and the oil and everything. She lights her lighter, which is a Zippo lighter, a silver Zippo lighter. The walkers are in the oil. She drops it in the oil. The flame goes up and sets the walkers on fire. Instantly, I'm like, why didn't you just save your lighter, burn a piece of paper, and drop the piece of paper or something around them and drop that into the mud and the oil? You could have saved your lighter. It'd be pretty important. The walkers weren't going to get her. They weren't going to bite her. They weren't going to anything. But either way, she gets there too. She's coming to meet up with the kids, her friends. There's these two walkers stuck together. She gets taken down by the walkers. Iris helps kills the one walker. Iris is trapped by the other walker because they're stuck together. Hope kills the other, so they're saved. There's a walker that gets thrown into a fence. The fence is about to fall. There's tires behind it. Silas, he's like, go, go, go. He's holding up this fence, which it would be really heavy, all these tires. But either way, he's big and strong, right? So he's holding that. They get across. Elton's like, I got to get my bag. So he runs in, grabs the bag, goes back. The tires fall, stops all the walkers, and they get away. They stop by this water, this lake, this area. Elton is finally using that fishing rod that he's been carrying around. He's just fishing. He doesn't catch any fish. We don't see. Hope and Iris talk. Hope tells Iris that it wasn't empties. It wasn't this. It was a woman, the pregnant woman, shot mom. Hope feels bad for it. Like she's scared the pregnant woman. If she didn't do that, the mom would still be alive. Hope grabbed the gun and took out the stuff we already know. She tells Iris. So Hope and Iris are on the same page. They know what we know. We also know that the pregnant person was Elton's mom, but Hope doesn't know that yet. But either way, they talk. Felix comes over and says, look, we're not going to go back. We're going to go to Omaha and go from there. Well, I'm not going back. I'm not doing this. I'm not going back. The kids don't want to go back to the campus colony. They're supposed to be this way, even though we know that the campus colony is gone. It fell. But Felix is like, okay, we're going to go to Omaha, and then we'll go from there. Felix and Huck, and they walk down the pathway. Iris comes over, and Silas has a cut on his hand. She wraps a bandage around his hand. It's a thankful, nice moment. Silas has a blanket over him. He puts the blanket around Iris, and they walk together, and they kind of look at each other. So is there a romance, something building there? Possibly, probably. We'll see where it goes. Then the last 8-10 minutes of the episode is what people want to watch this show for. It's the CRM connection. We see Elizabeth Kublik in her room at CRM, or I guess at the Civic Republic, I'm guessing. We don't really know where the location is, but I believe they're back on base. They left the campus colony. But Elizabeth Kublik on the table, she's looking at something. It's a paper map of stuff, and there's arrows on it. There's stuff shaded in. I personally think it's the instructions or the blueprints for how to attack the campus colony. To see where it's weakness, they go to the wall. They're going to have this group's going to come there. It's the plans for how they were going to attack the campus colony. Or it's something else. We don't know. It's not explained at all. It's just arrows on a piece of paper with like a wall, and there's this, and there's stuff shaded in. It's not really explained at all. But I think it's either that. So Elizabeth Kublik was looking at what she did. There's a knock at the door. It's Barca, the soldier that looked like Ramsey Bolton to me. He didn't have the mask on. He said that there was no sign of the two girls, so it's that guy. He comes in. He's like, look, I was walking around. I still don't feel right for what we did there. He comes in the room and he says, look, I don't feel right for what we did to campus colony. They weren't really a threat. I don't know there. Elizabeth Kublik says, she turns on the TV. She turns on the fan. She turns on the light. She turns on the gas. She opens the refrigerator. She turns on the coffee maker or espresso machine. She turns on the radio. She turns on everything in there. And she's like, this is what we do it for. We have power. We have fuel. We have food. We have agriculture. We have manufacturing. We have all these things. We do all these things. We're the last light of the tunnel or whatever. She's like, we're the last good thing. We're the last people. We're doing this for a reason. And why did we do what we did? To neutralize threats. And Barca says, well, I don't really think they were a threat. And I agree. They weren't really a threat. They were a campus colony. They were doing their own thing. They're not another military. They're not the Commonwealth. They're not a big thing on there, right? But either way, I guess Elizabeth Kublik had orders from Major Bill or General Bill or whoever, or somebody, to go take them out. So Elizabeth Kublik, there's also a British flag that's on the wall. It's a pretty obvious British flag in the center of the room that is upside down. So two things are interesting. It's a British flag and it's upside down. So we'll have to see what that's getting into. But Elizabeth Kublik is British. I'm guessing the actress is British, Julia Ormond. So she's British. So I'm guessing they turned it into a British connection. And maybe that's who the Civic Republic is. Maybe it's British people. Or, maybe it's a play on the American Revolution. We just don't know. They didn't explain it more, but it's not a thing. There's also a big sign in the center on the other wall that says self-indulgence at this time. So they're there to self-indulge, take what they want. And there's also another sign that says food and a bunch of things. And it says, don't waste it. Don't waste anything. Don't waste it. Right? So Barca and Elizabeth Kublik are at the table. I'll make you some soup. They have soup. There's another knock at the door. Elizabeth Kublik says, Barca, answer it. So he answers it. They open it. And there's 2 other CRM soldiers. And Elizabeth Kublik takes her gun, loads it and says, you are off, duty. You are not fit for duty. You will see the wellness center until you're fit for duty in a labor-oriented fashion. And Barca says, I don't think I'm ever going to be ready for duty again. And he says, it was all a lie. It was a lie. It was a lie. And then he starts taking him away and he's in the hallway. It was a lie. And then you hear a sound, and I guess they knocked him out. I don't think they killed him. I just think they knocked him out because he was making a loud noise. Elizabeth Kublik, I guess turns everything back on. She has a sip of wine. She starts breaking down, and she starts crying. We see the blueprints, plans that we saw previously, and a tear. Well, it's like a thing of water. A droplet falls on the plans, and I guess it represents that Elizabeth Kublik was crying, and that's the end of the episode. We also find out that there's 200,000 souls at the Civic Republic. 200,000 people, wherever they're at. If it's the Four Corners, if it's in Nevada, if it's in here, if it's in there. Not sure exactly where they are, but they have power, they have resources, they have agriculture, they have food, they have water, they have gas, they have manufacturing, they have everything they need. And I guess they took out the campus colony, which I don't really think was a smart thing to do because people are a resource. They could have used them for something. They were, people have skills, trades. Why would they just take them out? But Elizabeth Kublik crying at the end means to me that she's not a total evil person, that she kind of feels bad for what she was ordered to do. So we'll see. And that was the episode. Then you see next week's little teaser thing for it. The kids and Felix and Huck go to a high school. There's a wolf in there. There's people in there, or there's like walkers in there. And then they're in a high school, so we don't really see where it goes in there too. So Leon, I think she was crying because she feels bad for what she did, and she's not a total evil person, and she was just doing her orders, what she was supposed to do there, while she was supposed to be at Monument Day at the campus colony. So they're there too. So Jeannie says, showing off, turning on electronics. So yeah, she turns on the TV. She turns on everything that she has all the amenities, power, gas. She can cook. She can do everything she wants. She has electricity. She has power. She has stuff in the refrigerator. They got a lot of stuff there too. So yeah, I can't wait to see where it's going. And the last 10 minutes of the episode are what they talk about CRM and the latest thing on there too. So I don't think, I shared with you a thing. This will be my last topic because I got to go pretty soon. But there was a reviewer, her name's Sarah Beth Pollock, and I shared her review, her little hype and tease of season 1, episode 3. And she said at the end of it, you'll be addicted. And I don't think it's any more for like the information there. It's not like, oh man, I can't wait to find out more of this information. If you were buying into the episode in the series, you know what you're getting. You're going to get the bulk of the story is going to be about the kids and the Bennetts and Felix and Huck and all that stuff, mixed with a little CRM. And hopefully if it's 80-20, it turns out to be 60-40 or 50-50 of kids, CRM. It's going to be a little taste of both. But it's a good episode. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed both episodes and enjoyed the episodes tonight, guys. I will have my review, my recap, and all that stuff later today and tomorrow. I'll have a bunch of more videos coming up, some breakdown of stuff that I saw in there, where it's going on there as well. But since you guys are awesome and you're on the live stream, you got a little heads up to be there too. Thank you guys for being there. If you can and you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button. Help us achieve that goal of 100,000 subscribers. I truly appreciate the support, guys. And remember, words of wisdom: with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories, blocking out the haters, working hard, and you can achieve big things in life. It takes time, but you can do it, whether it's on YouTube or in any other aspect of life. But thank you guys. I truly appreciate it. I'll be here back next Sunday to talk about Season 6, Episode 3 of Fear the Walking Dead and Season 1, Episode 4 of The World Beyond. And it continues on and on and on till December. Once we get information, we'll be back to talk about it. Many more videos, many more things. Thank you guys. Enjoy it.